We're going to look at solving these 4-word problems together. And it's just a matter, it's not going to be a system of equations, it's just writing one single equation, but just reading it and kind of digesting the problem and seeing what we can come up with. So it says you have 2 summer jobs. In the first job, you work 28 hours per week and earn $7.25 per hour. In the second job, you earn $6.50 an hour, but can work as many hours as you want. So if you want to earn a total of $225 each week you work, how many hours must you work at your second job? So let's just sort of underline the important pieces here. So it says in the first job we work 28 hours per week and earn $7.25. And we earn $7.25 per hour. And then the second job, it's $6.50 an hour, but you can work as many hours as you want. So if we're trying to get $250, that's what we're trying to earn. Since we can choose how many hours we work at that second job, we need to figure out how many hours we should work. So let's see. To calculate how much we work at our first job, we're just going to take those 28 hours, right, that you work there, and multiply it by $7.25. So 28 hours times that $7.25 you make, plus $6.50 an hour, and I'm just going to use H, $6.50 an hour at that second job. But you want both of those jobs to equal or total $255. So since that's what you want to make, that's what your equation should equal. So we just need to simplify this left-hand side. So let's do 28 times $7.25. So 203 plus 6.5 each equals 255. So we need to subtract 203 from that. So 6.5 H equals 52. And then you guys will divide by 6.5. So 52 divided by 6.5 means if you're left with H equaling 8, that's how many hours you should work at that second job. Let's look at the second problem. So it says walkway construction. You're building a walkway, and it sort of gives you guys a little picture there, with equal width around 100 foot by 60 foot pool. So after completing the walkway, you want to put a fence along the outer edge. So we're trying to put a fence around that part. You have 450 feet of fencing to enclose in the walkway. What is the additional width you can make the walkway? So here's what we need to know. The width is currently 60 feet, but we're adding the same dimension on both sides. So we're adding like an X value here and an X value here. So the width is going to be 60 plus 2x. So let's write that down. The width is going to equal 60 plus 2x. Then the length, which is this way, is going to be 100 plus that dimension in both directions. So the length is going to equal 100 plus 2x. So that's what this is. This length and this width. But that's only two sides if you add one length and one width. So you need 2 of those widths we just came up with. So 2 times 60 plus 2x plus 2 of the lengths we came up with, which was 100, plus 2x. That needs to equal 450, since that's how much fencing we have to use. So we're just going to simplify this right-hand side. So we're going to distribute the 2 in and get 120 plus 4x. And then plus that 2 distributed in there. So plus 200 plus 4x. Still equals 450, and we just need to sort of condense this right-hand side now a little bit. So 120 plus 200 is 320. 4x plus 4x is 8x. Still equal to 450. So now we can start to move things over to the other side. So we can subtract 320. So we get 130 equals 8x, and we will divide both sides by 8 then. And we get 16.25. So if x is 16.25, that means that that pathway, the x value is 16.25. So the width of the path can't be any more than 16.25 feet. That's what your width should be of that new pathway. There we go. I'm just going to get you guys set up with number 3 and 4 and how you guys finish that. So for number 3, it tells us that the area is 504 feet. So what do the length and the width equal? Well, we already sort of know that the width is 14 units. We don't know if it's meters, centimeters, feet, whatever. But the width is 14. So how do we figure out the length? Well, first we have to remember what area is. Area is equal to length times width. So if we know that the length is 10x minus 24, and the width is 14, if we multiply them together, the length times the width, that needs to equal 504. So 14, we can distribute that in there. So 504 equals 140x. And then 24 times 14, 336. So minus 336. And then you guys can solve from there. So let's look at number 4, getting you set up for that. This one's telling you that the perimeter. So area is like the inside stuff. Like the length times the width, the area is what fills in the shape. The perimeter is around the shape. So the perimeter, if it's 23, we know that 23 has to equal this side plus this side plus that side. All 3 of your sides added together. So 23 has to equal 11 minus x plus 2 plus 3x minus 2. So what you guys would want to do is combine your like terms on that right-hand side and then kind of go from there. So why don't you guys finish off 3 and 4. Figure out what the length is by solving for x. You'll have to plug it back in. And then find what the dimensions are for those 3 sides after you get x. And then plug it back in.